Country Shooter 98 here today, and today we're going to talk about how to improve your pistol shooting skills without going to the range or spending a small fortune, because that's one of the problems you always hear is people just don't have time to go to the range to practice the way they want to, or they don't have the money to be spending a fortune on ammo. Well, it's an easy solution that a lot of people have heard people doing or heard about it, but if you're like me that's never tried it or whatever, it's dry firing. Dry firing will make all the difference in the world in your shooting, whether it's correcting your technique, correcting your trigger pull, your grip, or just getting in your reps you need to practice with. It's really important. So before we get to it, I just wanted to say thanks to all y'all who have been watching and the ones who subscribed and people liking our videos. And we'd really appreciate anybody watching. If you want to subscribe, if you like what you see, and watch our future videos or past videos, and hit the like button. And always like when people comment, good or bad. Love to respond and get your feedback. So really appreciate it. So let's get to it. My dry firing technique that I like to do that's helped me a lot. Starting off, let's see, we're safety check. Both these guns are clear. I'll show you. I'm using my 509 today, one because open sights and one's a red dot. We'll get to that in a minute. Starting off, all I did normally was just practice getting my grip right. That's all I do. Just practice getting it lined up with your arm the best you can. And a lot of that depends on your hand size. Like I have shorter fingers, so one of the problems I have with some guns is when I line this up just right, my trigger finger, like this gun works out fine. I don't get enough on my trigger finger on the trigger sometimes, and I tend to push left on certain guns, being that I'm right-handed. So that was the first thing I was doing, was just practice getting that lined up and then coming in with your other hand, your support hand, and getting it just the way you want it, and then you got your grip. And that's all I would do the first couple days I started dry fire, is practice my grip, putting it out, and then actually pulling the trigger. Come back, rack it, do it again. Just practice having the right grip and just getting that muscle memory of, okay, this is my grip. That was the first. And then the next day after that, I didn't want to just do a single shot at a time, because when you're shooting, you're not just doing a single shot at a time and racking it. So this mag, I have 10 snap caps. I bought 2 5-packs. I think I was in the hole for like 21 bucks for snap caps. So if you think about that, that's where the not spending a fortune comes in. Like 20 bucks for 10 snap caps of 9mm, and I'm gonna, probably get a million trigger pulls out of these compared to if you were to buy a million rounds. How much money do you spend? So that's why it's so inexpensive. Plus you're not spending money going on gas, going to the range, or paying your range fees. You just can do this right here at your house. So, okay, so after I was practicing just getting my grip and doing the one, I have 10 snap caps, but this is a 17 round mag that I use in my 509. So what I was doing next was I'd have my grip the way I wanted it. So then I'd point it out to shoot, and I'm shooting, pull the trigger just the way I want to. Okay, but instead of racking it again, what I'm doing now is I know how this trigger feels and about where it resets. So I'm actually exercising my trigger finger and going through the motion with my trigger finger like I'm pulling the trigger and firing this gun 17 times off that one snap cap. Okay, after I hit 17, then I'm gonna rack it again. So that's what I did for a couple days after that. Okay, it was just a progression. Every couple of days after I felt like I was getting that down, I'd move on and add to it. I didn't want to just throw it all at myself all at once and overwhelm myself and be like, man, I'm not doing this, I'm not doing this. It was just, I did this in steps. It took over my first week of dry fire, and after about 2 days, I was adding another step to this. It just worked out better for me rather than throwing, all at once. Okay, So after a couple of days of that, okay, I've got my grip where I want it. I'm exercising my trigger finger as many times as what's in the magazine in real life, not just, you know, it's 17 rounds, so 17 trigger pulls every time I did a snap cap when I actually racked it, okay? So then after that, then it was, okay, I want to come up and I want to find my sights as quick as I can and pull the trigger as fast as I can that first time, okay? Rack one. So it was up and out, and you pull the trigger. But don't do it any quicker than you pick up your sight. You'll get faster as time goes. And then after that, you keep going. There's a trigger pull. You release your trigger finger to about where the reset is. Trigger pull. You can do that 17 times, okay? So I've done it after a couple of days of doing that, and I was feeling comfortable doing that. Then I got to where I wanted to start being able to come out of my holster. And speaking of holsters, of course, for my 509s, I got my Red Hill Tactical, and I got my other one here that I just love. Big shout out to Red Hill Tactical. Great people, always posting my videos on their website. Really appreciate it. Anyways, back to business. So then, what I was doing was I was actually gonna start trying to come out of my holster. But what I found is I'm coming out of my holster and I wasn't used to coming out of my holster that regular, and my grip wouldn't be right. The gun would be too far this way, or I'd be too low, or whatever the case is. And like I said, the first step is finding your own grip. And my grip was I like to be high up on, if this gun don't have a beaver tail, if you had a beaver tail, I like to be as high up in it as I can, and I like the gun to be as straight as I can. Okay? Everybody's different. You gotta figure out what your grip is. That's pretty standard grip though for people. So I was like, well, this isn't gonna do me no good to be drawing this gun and I'm trying to shoot, practicing, I'm in the whole, wrong grip. So I would go through and do those steps that I was just talking about first, okay? Having the grip right, doing the trigger pull, exercising it all 17 times for a whole magazine. But then when I would get done doing that, I just got to where I was just drawing the gun out of my holster and bringing it up. And if it wasn't lined up with my arm and I wasn't high up in it the way I like, I didn't count it. And when I say I didn't count it is, I make myself do 10 reps of perfect. It's got to come out of the holster, my grip's got to be right, and pick up the sights 10 times in a row. And it doesn't matter if you're on number 7, if you mess up, I'd start over, and it has to be 10 in a row. Because once you get that muscle memory, it's no big deal. I started off slow. Just start off slow. It's not about fast at first. Speed comes. So I just got to where I do 10 in a row. Boom, I'm right there. It's just muscle memory now. It just comes right out naturally. I'm in my grip, and it feels good. So what I do now every day is I do 10 of those in a row, and then I added the final step to the actual firing process, which is I draw it out and actually pull the trigger and exercise it 17 times. So it'd be out, up, fire, and then 17 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now I just went through that mag. Okay? Now, something I want to point out about this is you're doing this to become a better shooter, so you just don't go through the motions. Do it right. When I say do it right is I would never imagine until I start dry firing how much you pick up on your mistakes dry firing. Everybody just assumes it's because you're fighting the recoil or because of the sound. I can notice if I don't pull the trigger good enough, or if my grip's not good enough. I can actually normally just looking down the barrel and looking at the sights right here, I can normally tell if I'm pushing it right or if I'm flinching a little and it's coming down a little. And the other thing is too is, after you go through so many, you start feeling a little fatigue in your arms, and you'd be surprised, even dry fire, and the mistakes you see as you dry fire. So it really helps build up your endurance, and you really do pick up your mistakes. So if you're seeing yourself, you know, the whole 17 or however many rounds it is you're going to do, constantly pushing it to the left or pulling it to the right or dipping it down, flinching, don't just keep doing that. Correct it. Change your, you know, get your grip adjusted right, and do it right. You want to practice the right technique. Otherwise, you're just basically making more bad habits. And anybody who shoots pistol knows it's very easy to get bad habits, and it's not that easily corrected. Pistol shooting's tricky, and there's a lot of little things that make you a good shooter. And then the final thing I've recently started adding into is I'll go back and load up 5 more and just get my grip right. And I already got one racked, and I'll draw it, and I'll do everything like normal, and I'll pull the trigger, and then I'll go ahead and exercise it for the whole mag, the 17 pulls, okay? But then, instead of going back to my holster, just so I actually feel the actual reset of this gun, I'll keep the trigger pulled in, rack it, and then just not actually put it in my holster, but just have it like I'm at my holster, keeping my grip and everything, still holding the trigger in, and come up, get my target, and then let the gun actually reset, and then pull the trigger and go through your whole 17 rounds again, okay? And all I want to do there is I just want to get used to feeling that actual reset of the gun. So, and that's helped a lot. Just a lot of different techniques that can really help. I wouldn't suggest just try and do this all at once. Like I said, I built mine up in stages. Do a couple of days of this, then a couple of days of adding another step, a couple of days of adding another step to those steps until I got to this point. And I'm telling you, after about a month of doing this, it normally takes me somewhere between like 25 and 35 minutes a day. And I enjoy doing it. I enjoy guns, I enjoy doing this. After about a month, I could tell a big difference. After a couple months, I could tell even bigger difference. And it's fun because what I try to do is I try to dry fire at least 5 times a week for that amount of time, and then hopefully I got time on a Saturday or Sunday to actually shoot at the range and see how I'm progressing with live rounds. And man, you know, I've had days where I didn't shoot so good, and like I need to get back to dry fire and correct this. I've had days I've shot great, and I thought, man, I need to get back to dry fire so I get even better. So it's really a helpful tool, and it really will make you a better shooter, and you don't have to spend much money. You know, if you're all in on 9mm, you know, $20 and you've got 10 snap caps. You know, you don't even have to have that. 5's fine. I just wanted 10. I've got 10 45s. I've got 5 7x28s, just so I can do it with multiple guns. So that is with my open sights. Now, I have my other 509, my 509 Tactical out here, because I wanted to practice getting efficient with the red dot. So it's all the same things as this, but the big difference is with your red dot, I'm really used to sights, open sights on a pistol. I'm still learning to really get better in picking up this red dot. So what I'm doing is all the same stuff, but now I've got the challenge of I'm coming up and I gotta find that red dot. And for me, at first, it's a little bit of a challenge. The other advantage to doing this with a red dot is you know, you really see your flaws with this red dot. That red dot doesn't hold still. Anybody shot a gun with a red dot knows that thing will dance around. If you're squeezing too hard or whatever, or you're shaking, and it will really show you if you push it to the right, or if you're going down, or you're pulling it to the right. You really, really notice it with the red dot. So that was what I always try to make sure I do one of my guns, whether it be a 9 or 45 with a red dot every day too, just so I'm seeing that too. So it's really helped me. It's really helped me improve my pistol shooting, and I enjoy doing it. It's kind of part of my daily routine, and it's just 20-30 minutes, you know. It's not that much time. Everybody spends 20-30 minutes wasting it on their phone or watching TV. So if you enjoy shooting, why not do it? You know, it's safe, it's fun, and it's a very efficient way. You know, You don't have to go to the range, you don't have to spend a bunch of money, and you're gonna make yourself a better shooter. So I hope y'all really enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful to you. If you wanna leave any comments, feel free, I'd love to answer you back. If you have any suggestions for me, please. You know, I'm not the world's best shooter. I'm just an average guy that works and has a family and a mortgage. This is just one of my favorite hobby to do. So if y'all liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe. We'd really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time.